Hey, how's it going, guys? This is Bill from Envision Motorworks. Got a pretty cool tool a couple days ago, and I got it all put together. It's pretty cool. This is a Mittler Brothers 36-inch bead roller, automatic electric bead roller. I got some cool little panels that I want to do on the 73 VW Bug. I'm gonna do the I'm actually doing all the floors in aluminum, and I'm gonna do like the package tray and all that stuff in bead rolled aluminum. So I figured I'd go ahead and show you guys today kind of how this machine works. I actually just learned how to use this machine a couple weeks back at work. So I actually went out and bought one. I liked it so much. Mine didn't come with the stand, so I just made it out of whatever I had here around the shop. I was cheap and I didn't want to pay extra for the stand, that I had plenty of material around to build. But yeah, I mean, I bought like 3 dies for it. Just the main ones I thought I was going to need. I got one regular bead rolling die. This is actually I think they call it the art die or something like that. It's basically just a very thin step over die. And that's basically what I'm going to use it for, is doing step overs. I find that the thin one, it lets you get into tighter radiuses a little easier without marring up the aluminum. But yeah, so today I already cut out a piece for my my front kick panel, like right behind my pedals and all that stuff, just basically the firewall on a VW. So yeah, I'm gonna go over to the bench or to the welding table. We're gonna get this all marked out basically on where it's gonna go. I got another cool tool. They're called they're from Hammer Fab, and they're actually they're dimple dies, but they're called crater makers, and they're for doing like basically if you want to put a hole in something for mounting, and it makes like a nice little dimple on it to be able to mount that screw or whatever you're going to use. So I got a set of those. I'll show you how I'm going to do those, and yeah, it should be pretty cool review of this tool. I'm pretty happy with it so far. I've done a couple panels just to kind of test it out and make sure it's working good, but yeah, so we'll go over there, we'll get it laid out, and then we'll come back and we'll show you how this works. All right, let's go. All right, so this is basically the cutout of my firewall, basically the kick panel that I'm going to be making. So essentially what I want to do is I want to come probably, I'm going to say probably about 1.25 inches all the way around the whole perimeter. So I'll get that all marked out first, and then we'll figure out anything else we want to do in the center, if we end up doing anything else in the center. And then basically these are what we have. These are the crater makers. They're basically just a dimple die basically, but they make this like little raised section, and then it dips down for the screw or whatever you got. I got 4 different sizes of them. They come in probably the most common sizes you can get anything in. But like I said, these are good for doing perimeter bolts and stuff like that. They make it really look nice when it's done. So we'll go ahead and get this marked out, and then we'll go from there. Basically, I'm just gonna go around, they don't have to be exactly perfect. I'm gonna do 1.25 inches. Basically, I just go around a bunch of 1.25 inches all the way around the entire piece, and then we'll use our straight line to connect everything. Some of them we'll just freehand in, and then we'll go from there. All right, let's get it done. And you want a good border around this, so that way you have enough room to use these dies, because what it'll do is it'll try and suck material up as you press it in. So you usually want to give yourself a little extra when you do your cutout, You can cut this out in many ways. I actually cut this out on the plasma table, but you can cut this out with a regular jigsaw with a wood blade or an aluminum blade or something like that really cheaply. So there's the preliminary mark out. Now I'm going to find something that's got a nice round shape to it that I can radius all these with. It could be anything. Hold on one second. All right, so basically I just found this big old socket, and I'm going to go around and start radiusing stuff out. So from my border, then I'm going to come in probably another 1.5 inches. What I'm thinking. So we kind of do the same thing. We'll mark it all the way around. Where it's going to be, where you can see what we're going to be left. So that's kind of what you end up with. So basically, this edge will be pushed down flat against the firewall. So this edge will be up a little higher, and then this edge will get pushed down again. So yeah, that'll make sense. All right, let's go over there and put it on the machine. All right, so we're back over here at the machine. So however you got these dies set up is either it'll push up or it'll push down. So you may have to switch your dies from top to bottom. So on this one, I actually had to switch my top die to the bottom die, and I actually just have a small washer in between basically, and that lets me push it out a little further. Because when it's just the two dies together, the step is like really light. It's not a very heavy step. They make ones where the collar is adjustable, where you can adjust it out and stuff, but I'm cheap. I didn't get none of that. So I just used a washer and it works wonderful. So we will try basically see if we can get this running. Now generally you want to go ahead and do this in one shot. I've tried doing multiple passes before and it really doesn't work very well. You end up marring it up and everything like that. So generally you just get your line kind of set up, get it where it's got tension, then you want to try and remember how many turns you do. Like me, I'm going to do probably 3 or 4 turns here. I'm going to try and do it all at once. Let's just try that and see if that works. Again, you're just following the line with the wheel. And you're trying to push down too, or push up, depending on which way you're going to. But you can slow down around the corners, which generally that's what I do because I'm pretty new at this. But it's kind of just like a sewing machine, basically, as far as the pedal, which not many of us have probably sewn, but you know, in general, it's about the same. In the corners, you just kind of go as slow as possible while we get a good radius. Generally, don't want to stop too much. These tight radiuses, they are the pain in the butt, so try and keep your radius as big as possible. Something like this is definitely good to have this 36-inch throat, even though this doesn't quite need it. But if you get into bigger stuff, you know, I'd rather have enough than not enough. Essentially, on the other side, you can really see, you know, that it did a really nice job doing that bead. And on this side, you can see it gave it a nice little step down. So now, I'm going to actually step it back in. So, I am going to switch these dots on. It's just an Allen key that takes them out. And like I said, I just found a random washer in my shop that was close to the same size. It fit over it. It's probably an 1/8 inch washer, maybe a little more. Fairly thick washer, but it steps it out just enough to where it gives it a really nice step over. Because the big step overs they have like where they step over quite a bit, and the problem is once you get into tighter corners, it mars up that whole edge, where these don't do that. I mean, they actually come out perfect. So these are definitely the way to go. Good. You know, same thing. Just try and do it in one shot. So let's hit that is it. So you have a nice step down edge here. It steps up and then it steps back down. So we'll get it all cleaned up and then we'll go over to the table and show it to you. And then we'll start laying out our crater maker holes, basically. All right. So I just went and cleaned it up with some, I just use regular rubbing alcohol, but acetone works best, but this is all I had in the shop, so it's what got used. But yeah, as you can see, I mean, with just a few minutes of layout couple minutes on the machine, you really end up with a cool piece, man. Like I say, it does deform a little bit, and you can kind of bend it by hand a little bit. For the most part, if it's going to be mounted flat, it really doesn't matter. Now you can take it through like a slip roller, pop it through there a few times, and it will actually make it almost perfectly flat without messing up the beads. But yeah, I mean, as you can see, it comes out freaking awesome, you know. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'll start laying out the marks for where our mounting holes are going to be. I'm actually just going to pop rivet this, but you know, it's the same if you were using, like, there's one for quarter, I think this one's for quarter 20 screws, where like a button head quarter 20 screw will fit like perfect. But I thought this was a little big. Actually, maybe. Actually, that may be the better one to go with. Nah, we'll just use we'll use the smaller one. Like I said, I'm going to be using pop rivets to put mine in anyway, so it really isn't going to matter. Just because I don't want to try and bolt it through the back or anything like that. So we're just going to use this one. It's the smallest one in the set, but I've used it before. It works really well. And really all you have to have I know for this one, I haven't used any of the like bigger ones, but you should be able to use these in a vise with no problem, as long as you're not trying to do like thick steel or something like that, you know. If you have a press, they're actually really nice, but me, all it goes a vise here, so I'm just going to run with that, and hopefully it works out good. I know it works out good because I've done it at work before. So we'll go ahead and basically all you do is you just find your drill that fits the hole, basically, you know. And then you just, like I said, mark out your holes on where you want them to be, and then drill them out. You can just use a hand drill. I'm going to use a drill press, and then we'll come back. After I lay it out, we'll come back after I drill it, and then we'll show you how I press them in the vise. Basically, it's really simple, but they look amazing when they're done. So we'll go ahead and start getting it laid out. Like, for the most part, I kind of know, you know, I'm going to come an inch in, basically, you know, somewhere close to that. I mean, even kind of try and figure out the best spot here. And what you can do too, which is what I think I'm going to do, is you can kind of lay them out where you think they'd look good, and then just come in with your center punch. And if you have an automatic center punch or a spring one, just punch it, which is what I'm going to do because it makes it so much easier. And they may not be perfect, which is fine. I'm okay with that. Which I may try and make a couple of them a little closer. But say that's about 3/4. That's actually really close. So just depends how particular you want to be with it. I'm not being super particular with this just because it's, you know, it's my BW, so I'm not super worried about it. But it would look a lot nicer if you specifically laid these out really good in all perfect positions, you know. But, you know, I'm just not worried about it. So I'm just going to kind of go through, mark them. Now at work when I did this, I went ahead and I actually took a caliper, went around it, marked everything out. But these, like I said, nobody's really going to see it. But I'm not super worried about it. Kind of past that, I think they might look good. All right, so for me, that's it. That's all I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna go too crazy with it. Like I said, I'm not super worried about it with this car. but it does look awesome already. So I'm actually pretty happy with it. And then I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna do this to mostly the whole interior of the car. I'll probably do the door panels. I'll do, like I said, I'm gonna do the back package tray, right behind the seat, basically. I'm doing actually the floor pans right now. I'm doing all aluminum floor pans because all the pans that were in it were the only thing rusted in the car, and they were pretty much rusted out. So I just cut them out. I'll show you when we go over there. I just basically took some 1x8 inch square, gridded it out on the floor where I cut it out, and I'm just laying aluminum over top of it. It's fine. It's a rat rod. I'm not super worried about it. All right, so we'll go ahead and we'll get these spots drilled out, and when we come back, we will. I'll show you how we press them. All right, let's go. All right, so I went through, got them all drilled out to the right hole size. Now we're going to go over to the vise and start pressing these in. All right. All right, so here at the vise, say that these, all you have to do is basically make sure that you're pressing the form up the right way. You don't want it to be pushing it down to where your dimple's on the other side. So that's just one word of caution. Make sure that you're putting it in the right spot, basically. So just slides in. It's good. This has the little one has a little dowel already built into it. The other ones have screws, but this, you just pop the dowel in, pop the other side in, and kind of do these deals where you kind of have to hold it and do it at the same time. Get it close. Which one you just start? It helps to have a good solid mounted vise too. There we go. I think we can see that. Basically what it does is it just makes a really nice dimple where your screw or rivet, in my case, is going to sit into. I think they make them for the Zeus fasteners and stuff like that too, but yeah, it makes like a really nice look to it, and yeah, should be pretty cool. So I'll go ahead and I'll finish up all these, and then when we come back, I'll show it to you on the bench here, and that'll be it for this piece. And realistically, the time you have into it is not a whole lot. Realistically, maybe an hour, if that. I'm real surprised if it was even an hour, to be honest with you. And obviously the thinner stuff you use, like if you went with something thinner, like me, I'm going pretty heavy here. Like if you would have went with like a much thinner material, much easier to press. Since I went with heavy material just because it's what I had, that's kind of what I'm doing. All right, so I'll finish these up off camera and then we'll come back. All right, so we went through, pressed all of them out, and as you can see, I mean, it does warp the metal a little bit, but like I said, you go through with a slip roller. There are some other ways to do it, like you can pre-stretch all this stuff on a English wheel if you want. I've heard it works pretty well, but honestly, if you're mounting this up somewhere solid, I don't think it's really necessary. Like door panels and stuff like that, I mean, once you mount it, it's not going anywhere, especially if you did more mounts all the way around. Me, like I said, I'm not worried about it. But yeah, I mean, as you can see, with a very little amount of time, I mean, you can come out with a very cool, very professional looking, panel. And it really doesn't take a whole lot. I mean, and you can see how it looks on the backside. I mean, you can do these indents or step overs any way you want to. I mean, there's a million ways to do them. the engine bay panels and stuff, they look great when they do them like this. Trunk panels. I've seen pretty much everything done like this. All your engine bay stuff now, all your custom engine bay stuff is done like this, and it looks fucking amazing. It's done. So you do like wheel tubs. I mean, the sky's the limit. So yeah, pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty much the panel. I'll put it in the car and kind of give you a clip on how that's gonna look. The car's a mess right now, but yeah, I mean, turns out pretty cool. All right, so yeah, that's pretty much the rundown on this bead roller. Like I said, I went with the cheapest option that was in 36-inch, just because I knew I was probably going to be doing some big panels. Made the mount, or made the stand myself. I didn't go with the industrial motor. I don't know if that's going to hurt me later on, but right now it's fine. I mean, I'm doing 16 gauge, which is probably all I'm ever going to be doing anyway. And less, you know, probably 18 gauge steel and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, as you can see, the Mittler Brothers bead roller and the Hammer Fab crater maker dies are awesome. I mean, they really, really work well. They allow you to really make a nice part when it's all said and done. And you can make it in a very short amount of time. Now, they're not cheap. I think I just got this on Black Friday, and it was, I want to say, $1,200 just for the upper machine. That's not the stand or nothing like that. That's just the machine, no beads. So I think I got 3 sets of beads or rolls, the machine, and the Hammer Fab kit, and I think it was, I want to say all together probably around $1,800. The Hammer Fab, those four Hammer Fab dies are, I think, I want to say like $300, so they're not cheap, but the quality you get that it makes your parts look is definitely worth it. And again, I'm not sponsored by any of these people. I'm just a guy in his garage doing this shit, you know. And I do it for a living now. I actually just started doing this for a living. But yeah, I mean, very cool product. I'll keep using them. I want to check out some of the other dies, but like I said, the dies ain't cheap either. The dies are like $100 a piece, so it gets expensive real fast. But yeah, all in all, very, very cool. Very impressed with this. I mean, you can see the parts that come out, they look top-notch quality. So even if you're not great at it, you know, because I'm not a professional at this at all. I'm just starting to get into this type of work. But yeah, so I got a lot more of this stuff coming out. I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff on the VW. I'm doing a lot of stuff on the GMC. So like, subscribe if you want to see more of this stuff. But yeah, I'll do a clip over and show you on the actual firewall and the VW. Like I said, it's a mess, but all right. See you next time. All right. Well, I was going to show you this in the car. However, I did exactly what I told you not to. I actually did this whole panel backwards. So I have to redo this whole panel, but you know, it's a cool panel. I'll stick up on the wall, you know, to show how I fucked up. But yeah, make sure you're doing it the right way. All right, till next time.